Welcome to the Optimal Inventory in GLWA presentation. The optimal inventory approach is the long-term solution to providing inventory needs and is in alignment with the Strategic Asset Management Plan. The mission of the Logistics and Materials team is to provide the right material, at the right place, at the right time, using supply chain solutions that cultivate dynamic growth in GLWA through operational efficiency, with our internal and external customers. The Logistics and Materials team has stock rooms at the Water Resource Recovery Warehouse and the Northeast Storeroom Warehouse. The administration and analytics team members are located in the old Ragland building at the Water Resource Recovery Facility. Let's talk about optimal inventory within GLWA. First, we have to look at the optimal inventory history. The contracts with Mack & Mack, Grainger and VMR were not renewed in 2020, however they are still ongoing vendors with GLWA. We have been discussing the optimal inventory approach at our weekly operational meetings since March 2019. Next, let's look at the optimal inventory approach. By studying our materials usage, this has led us make the shift which has proved to be the most cost-effective. In addition to adding inventory, a number of other options exist. The optimal inventory approach is aligned with GLWA's Strategic Asset Management Plan for the future. Some of the advantages of optimal inventory are: it allows you to align with asset management planning. Efficiency is maximized. It allows you to store what you need on site. And in the end, it is more cost-effective. It allows you to store what you need for the job. There is a high level of consistency. Everyone is using same thing. You create efficiency through standards. Optimal inventory works well with P-card, which is a quick, low-dollar spot buy, and procurement, which is a larger dollar, with competitive pricing. If there is a need to acquire materials at GLWA, it can be accomplished by one of two ways. 1. Enter a requisition in WAM using the Logistics and Materials Approval path. This process will allow you to monitor and track material purchases. 2. By adding material to stock. You need to submit a completed add to stock form. Logistics and Materials will add the material at requested levels to the warehouse for operational use. In case you are wondering how to acquire materials through GLWA, there are a couple ways that it can be accomplished. 1. There are approximately 17 vendors to choose from in our procurement pool that can provide materials to you. 2. If the item you need is not in inventory, a P-card may also be used. If you need further assistance, please contact Terrence Anderson, Logistics and Materials Manager. His contact information is on the last slide. Feel free to notify Logistics and Materials regarding the urgency of an inventory request. The inventory request can be classified as low, medium, or high. Low. Planned inventory, the time frame is 2 weeks to 12 months. The criteria for a low planned inventory request is as follows. Logistics and Materials would be happy to meet with you to assist in planning storage and delivery options. The inventory item can be added to the warehouse. You will need to first fill out the add to stock form. Logistics and Materials will monitor and adjust inventory levels on a continual basis. Medium. Urgent inventory, the time frame is 0 to 5 days. The criteria for a medium planned inventory request is as follows. Logistics and Materials will see if an item is in the warehouse or on order. and the Logistics and Materials Manager can help you determine if a P card can be used. The Procurement Group can help you in getting a purchase order. High emergency inventory, which is 1 to 24 hours. The criteria for a high emergency inventory request is as follows. Contact Procurement Group for emergency purchase. The slide gives a summary of the non-inventory requisition process from beginning to end. The estimate is approximately 12 business days for a typical request. Materials are added in the warehouse by submitting an add to stock form. You also will be required to submit a quote from a vendor in order to add an item to stock. The Logistics and Materials team is available to answer any questions and will be available to visit locations to assist in the completion of the form. How to access the form will be shown in the following slides. The Add to Stock form can be accessed on One Water Connect. When you are on One Water Connect, click on Forms, Policies and Procedures in the navigation area. The Add to Stock form can be found under the Form category in the Logistics and Materials group. The form is listed under the Forms and Documents team's subcategory. Click on the Stock Add Change form to open the document. The completed form should be forwarded to Lloyd Bowman or Terrence Anderson. A link to the form can be found in the comment area below the video. When you utilize the optimal inventory approach, it will help you with the following. Assists in the planning of inventory needs by meeting with operations leadership on a constant basis. Identifies items on requisitions that could be added to stock. Assist operations to identify slow-moving or non-moving stock items. Will eliminate surplus inventory throughout the organization. This proactive approach addresses predicting inventory needs and eliminating obsolete assets early in their life cycle. What is considered an emergency procurement? We would like to point out two important factors about an emergency procurement. 1. If there is an imminent threat of public health and welfare. Or, 2. To prevent an imminent violation of a required environmental permit or administrative consent order under emergency conditions. Materials are added in the warehouse by submitting an add to stock form. You will also be required to submit a quote from a vendor in order to add an item to stock. The Logistics and Materials team is available to answer any questions and will be available to visit locations to assist in the completion of the form. The form can be found at One Water Connect. Link to the form can be found in the comment area below the video. An emergency procurement is requested by completing an emergency request form. This form can be found on the Procurement SharePoint site. The link to the form can be found in the comment area below the video. The form should be completed if there is an imminent threat of public health or welfare that prevents a violation of an environmental permit or administrative consent order under emergency conditions. Once the form is completed, email and contact the Procurement Manager, Daniel Edwards, or the Procurement Director, Sonia Collins. The contact information is provided in the comment area below the video. A knowledge check is a way of testing you on what you learned in this presentation. The next few slides will ask you questions related to the material that was just presented to you. Ready? Let's start. Let's see what you remember about optimal inventory. On this slide is a true-false question. The mission statement: to provide the right material at the right place at the right time, using supply chain solutions that cultivate dynamic growth in GLWA, through operational efficiency with internal and external customers. Is this true or false? The answer is on the next slide. The mission statement: to provide the right material, at the right place, at the right time, using supply chain solutions that cultivate dynamic growth in GLWA, through operational efficiency with internal and external customers. The answer is true. On this slide is a multiple choice question. Low planned inventory is 0 to 5 days, 2 weeks to 12 months, 1 to 24 hours, or none of these. The answer is on the next slide. Low planned inventory is 0 to 5 days, 2 weeks to 12 months, 1 to 24 hours, or none of these. The answer is 2 weeks to 12 months. Last question. On this slide is a true-false question. An emergency procurement exists when there is an imminent threat of public health and welfare. Is this true or false? The answer is on the next slide. An emergency procurement exists when there is an imminent threat of public health and welfare. The answer is true. Did you get any questions wrong? If so, you may need to watch the presentation again. If you have any questions or feedback, please feel free to contact Terrence Anderson. He is the Logistics and Materials Manager. Terrence's phone number is 313-378-8203 and his email address is terrence.anderson@glwater.org. Lloyd Bowman. He is the Logistics and Materials Management Professional. Lloyd's phone number is 313-410-3702 and his email address is lloyd.bowman@glwater.org. Or Shavarn Smith. She is the Logistics and Materials Professional Administrative Analyst. Shavarn's phone number is 313-297-8841 and her email address is shavarn.smith@glwater.org. Thank you for participating in this presentation.